And we're going to have a lot of nigunim connected with the end of Adar, going from the Geula of Purim to the Geula of Pesach, and about Parshat Shavua, and a lot of interesting stuff. Okay. And let's start with a nigun. How interesting. Let's start with a nigun. I want a Shabbos and Yom Tov nigun. One of the nice ones. Okay, good one.
What was it?
Why is it a good one? Because it's a very warm, full of feeling one. It was nigun number 87 in ספר ניגונים. אם אתם מדברים, לעשות ככה. את יכולה לעשות את זה? את רואה? ללחוץ פה, ואחר כך כאן. כאן, במיוט. If somebody is talking. את רואה? כאן. פה, ואז את זה. Okay. So, I don't have to do it in the middle. You can do it. Okay, so I chose that one because it's full of feeling. It's a nice nigun. Also, it's interesting. It's a nigun that is sung in Chabad and also in Breslov. In Breslov, they sing it from Leitaneg B'Tanugim. Leitaneg B'Tanugim, Ba'abu Musla B'Dagim. Leitaneg B'Tanugim, Ba'abu Musla B'Dagim. Has only 2 parts, and Chabad has 3 parts. Interesting. So, I want to talk today about feelings, about brain, about thinking, about feeling. In Chabad, they teach us that being, how do you call it? Scholarly? I don't know how we would say it in English.
Cerebral?
If we're talking only about seichel, it's not enough. You know, brains is not good enough. You have to have a heart. In the time of Baal Shem Tov, there was such a gap between all the lamdanim, all the learned people, and the simpletons. The learned people used to look down on the simpletons that they're not worth anything, you know, and the simpletons thought they're not worth anything because they couldn't understand anything. But in Chabad, the Baal Shem Tov taught us, in Chassidut, they teach us that, you know, v'yadata hayom v'hashevota elevavecha. You should know today, knowing is with the brains, and you should teach your heart what to feel. You know, what starts first? A feeling, and then you think about it, or a thought, and then you feel it. It goes both ways. It's a cycle. They have a saying in Chassidut, which comes from Chazal. I didn't find it who said it. You know, one of the sages said, "Kol mo'orer hakavana." The Alter Rebbe used to quote it. "Kol mo'orer hakavana." Voice evokes intention. Kavana, you know, kavana has a lot of meaning of what kavana is. We spoke about when we were speaking about ניגון מכוון. שוב יש לי קרניים מאחורי. So, כל מורה כוונה, I see you have. You know what? I'll just move it.
זה בסדר.
Okay, does it look funny?
לא, זה מקסים.
I have horns. Like last week's Parsha. Lahavdi. So, having just seichel, just emotion is not enough. We need to have both. And the way a man was built is very symbolic, because we have in our head, we have the three of chokhmah bina dat, we have our mind faculties, all these important things. But here, the heart is connected with such a narrow strait. These are narrow straits, Mitzarei HaGaron they call it. It's like the straits of getting out of Egypt, Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim is the straits. So Mitzarei HaGaron, not only that it's such a narrow place, I'm going to sing in front of everybody. You know that feeling? This little judge sitting here and saying, you're going to sing, you better watch out if you sing nicely or not. Was that nice enough? Is that good enough? It's always sitting here and this little judge is bothering us. Whatever we do, he always has what to say. No, that's not good enough. Try again. No, tear it up, throw it out, try again. Okay, no, that's not good enough. Did you ever see a bird getting up in the morning and thinking, I'm going to sing now? Is it nice enough? I'm going to, look at me, I'm singing. No. So the birds, they don't think. They just open up and they sing. There's no limitations. They don't have this little thing here, this Pharaoh sitting here in our throat and choking us. And, the dog barking all night, he doesn't think how he sounds. He doesn't get hoarse even, too bad. But we always have this little judge sitting here and bothering us. This Paro is really stopping the flow between the brain and the heart. It's like Amalek also is sitting in our neck and is trying to mlokodan, is trying to separate between the head and the body. So there's a lack of flow. What can we do? We have to make this thing flow again. We have to get out of Egypt. So they do voice training, pituach kol, in order to be able to, they teach you, don't sing from here, don't sing from the nose, sing from somewhere here or somewhere here. Make it flow, make it feel like you open and you can. So the same thing we have to do with our everyday life, with everything. We have to make it flow. So how is it connected with music? So, first of all, they say, Kol Me'orer HaKavana. Voice evokes meaning, evokes this intention, attention, intention, tuning, everything. Kavana, like we said in Nigun Mechuvan. Kavin Patchele, if you remember when we spoke about Nigun Mechuvan, about Daniel in his book, it says that every day he had an hour for himself in a separate, special room. And what did he do there? He used to open a window towards Yerushalayim. And they say, the Kavin Patchele, he opened a window which calls Kavin, is like Kavana. He could open, he was davening, he was praying, he was opening up. When we daven, we should open up, we should have some feeling. Do you ever zoche to have feeling when you daven? Happens once in a while, it's such a nice feeling. You say Shema Yisrael and you feel like you really love Hashem. All these wonderful things happened today and yesterday. Wow, Hashem, I love you. Do you ever feel it in davening? It's amazing. If you can get there, hold on to it and go back to it whenever you can. Because it's great, it's wonderful. Kavin Patre, to open this window, to make it flow. So, wait, nigun for them. So we have to get out of Egypt. We have to get out of Egypt. We have to make this thing work for us to be able to flow between all the levels of the neshama, all the levels of the body, to make it flow. In our Parsha, I think I forgot to mention it in the Hebrew class, but we'll mention it in English. We have a quote, we have written, that Hashem chose Bezalel ben Uri ben Chur למטה Yehuda, and Oholiav ben Chisamach למטה Dan, from the highest of the tribes to the lowest of the tribes. One of them is Bezalel. He was a grandson of Miriam and Neviah, right? Bezalel ben Uri ben Chur. He was the son of Chur, so he was a grandson of Miriam. And it says that all the people that had the chokhmah of the heart, they had wisdom of the heart. How can you have a wisdom of the heart? So we starting to understand. If you open your heart, you can get inspired. You can get inspiration if you open up and you let this flow travel between. So there's a class by Rabbi Yitzchak Ginzburg talking about Kol Me'orer HaKavanah, and about the Leviim in Beit Midrash, and about Kohanim. Kohanim were working in silence. The Leviim were raising the voice. They're letting the voice, the inner voice, come out and shine. So there's a few levels to get inspired. But let's do more songs first, and then we'll go back to that. There's a nigun in Sefer Nigunim number 63, which is called The Heart of Jabin. Jabin, it was a city with a lot of happy Hasidim. Samech Gimel. Jembin or Jabin, Jeber and Herz. And they were really serving Hashem with a lot of head also, but also a lot of heart, a lot of songs. So they had two kinds of songs there. One kind was the song of a lot of thought, of brain. Chabad Nigunim have a lot of brain. But they also had hearts Nigunim. If you have Nigunim from other Hasidiyot, most of them are just full of warm feelings. Mojitz Nigunim, so beautiful. Melitz, a lot of Tzadz Nigunim, Vizhnitz, Karlin. Karlin is a little more like Chabad. But they also have head there. But Jabin also had heart, and the head's heart. So this one is more of serving Hashem with the heart. So let's do this one, and then we'll go to the one of the cup, which is from Michael Dvorkin, used to sing it. that was the heart from Chibin, or Jambin, or whatever the name of the town is. And here is the Jabiner Kop, the heart, the head in Chibin. Okay. Jabiner Kop, the head from Shebin, or Jambin, Nigun number 62. So, we say we have to get inspired. But we are talking about Kol Morar Kavana. We said there's a cycle. If you have a voice that can evoke you, so if you have some feeling that evokes a voice also, it goes both ways. Either you have a sound that makes you feel something, that makes you think of another sound, that makes you feel another more thing, or it goes the other way around. You have a feeling that evokes a sound, and then the sound evokes another feeling, and the feeling evokes another sound. It's two cycles that go together. But we want it to flow. We want it to be alive and flowing. We have Ilu Hotzianu Mitzrayim, getting out of Egypt. I didn't send you these words, but everybody knows it. ממצרים דיינו, אילו אילו הוציאנו, הוציאנו ממצרים, הוציאנו ממצרים דיינו, 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 אילו אילו הוציאנו, הוציאנו ממצרים, הוציאנו ממצרים דיינו, אילו אילו הוציאנו, הוציאנו ממצרים, הוציאנו ממצרים כמה וכמה, טוב הכולה ומכופלת המקום עלינו, על אחת כמה וכמה, טוב הכולה ומכופלת המקום עלינו, שהוציאנו, שהוציאנו ממצרים, שהוציאנו, שהוציאנו ממצרים. איי 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 שהוציאנו, שהוציאנו ממצרים, שהוציאנו, שהוציאנו ממצרים. איי 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 Okay, we did two songs, you know, הוציאנו מצרים and על אחת כמה וכמה. So, less words, more thinking, then we'll go back to the... There's a beautiful song that some attributed to the Baal Shem Tov himself, Karev Yom. Karev Yom, Karev Yom, Asher hu lo Yom. I sent the words if anybody wants in the WhatsApp group. Karev Yom, Karev Yom, Asher hu lo Yom. Ramon Dahon, Ki lecha Yom, Maflecha Leila. Ramon Dahon, Ki lecha Yom, Maflecha Leila. שומרים הפקד, הפקד לעירך, כל היום בכל לילה. שומרים הפקד, הפקד לעירך, כל היום בכל לילה. תאיר, 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 תאיר כאור יום, חשכת לילה. תאיר, 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 תאיר כאור יום, חשכת לילה. קרב יום, אשר הוא לא יום ולא לילה. קרב יום, אשר הוא לא יום ולא לילה. רם הונדה, 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 כי לך היום, מפלך הלילה. רם הונדה, 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 כי לך היום, מפלך הלילה. שומרים הפקד, הפקד לעירך, כל היום בכל לילה. שומרים הפקד, הפקד לעירך, כל היום בכל לילה. תאיר, 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 תאיר כאור יום, חשכת לילה. תאיר, 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 תאיר כאור יום, חשכת לילה. Okay, that's a very famous song. The second words I sent you was Nisha Amber.
What's up? What's up?
What?
The word. What the
Oh, but the
word?
words I sent it in the WhatsApp group. I sent you Karev Yom Asher Hu Lo Yom Velo Laila. It's for the poems that say in the end of the Seder. Karev Yom. It's beautiful. It's talking about the Geula. We're going to get the day that it turns from night to day. Next one is Alta Bechartanu. Let's do Alta Bechartanu. if you see in the group. The Rebbe explained this nigun. He said, first of all, Hashem chose the human body, the Jewish. He chose the Jews, but the body of a Jew that looks like any other person in the world. It looks like just as any other people, but He chose us because we have. He liked us. You can choose between things that are similar. You can't choose between things that are opposites or something. So you can't say He chose the Jewish soul. The Jewish soul, yes, it's part of Hashem. So, but still, He chose the human body, the guf shel hayehudi, the body of the Jew that looks just like any other people in the world. And the other thing that Rabbi explained about the nigun was the first part is connected the tzaddikim. Everything is straight and clear. Every sentence comes once, and it's very, very clear. But the second part is for the Baal Tshuva. Everything is double, and it's double in happiness, double in repeating the sentence again. And they say that where Baal Tshuvas are holding, tzaddikim can't be there. So let's do Ata Bechartanu. אתה בחרתנו מכל העם, אהבת אותנו ורצית בנו, ורוממתנו מכל השונות, וקידשתנו במצוותיך, וקרבתנו מלכנו לעבודתך, ושמך הגדול והקדוש עלינו קראת. אתה בחרתנו מכל העמים, אהבת אותנו ורצית בנו, אהבתנו ורצית בנו, ורוממתנו מכל השונות, וקידשתנו במצוותיך, ורוממתנו מכל השונות, וקידשתנו במצוותיך, ערבתנו מלכנו לעבודתך, מכל העמים, אהבת אותנו ורצית בנו, אהבת אותנו ורצית בנו, ורוממתנו מכל השונות, וקידשתנו במצוותיך, וערבתנו מלכנו לעבודתך, ושמך הגדול עלינו קראת. This beautiful song is part of the davening and Chag and any Chag, the first three brachas like every other day, and then the main bracha starting with Ata Bechartanu. He chose us from all the nations. There's levels of the soul that every person in the world has, but there are some levels that only Am Yisrael has, only the Jews. I can't read. If you want to say anything, so I have to read it later. So I started saying. What did I start saying? My memory is busy. Okay. So we have 5 levels. To the Jewish soul has 5 levels: Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, and Yechida. And if you want to guess to start flowing between the heart and the brain, we have to make all these levels of the soul have an expression. If you want to have inspiration for something, if you want to be inspired and create a work of art like the people were doing in the Mishkan, you know that the women had a very special wisdom there. They say, V'chol isha chachmat lev, you know, I wrote it down. V'chol anashim asher nasa lahen otana b'chokhma. All those women that had the inspiration of wisdom, they tavu et ha'izim. They had a very special way of weaving the wool from the goats, from the sheep and goats. And our sages say that they were such experts, they were weaving it on the, when it was still connected with the goats and the sheep. It's ha'izim, the sheep, the goats, they weaving the wool while it was still connected to the goats. Amazing chokhmah that the women had. We know the women have a lot of chokhmah. So otherwise it wouldn't survive. The world wouldn't survive without them. So, but everybody has those levels of soul. and we want to be inspired. So when you write a song, hashra'ah, they call it in Hebrew. Inspiration in Hebrew is hashra'ah. Hashra'ah is the word shir in there, hiding in there, right? But even other kinds of arts also, if you have an inspiration, you have to be inspired from what? So there's 5 levels of inspiration that we can take from. That's from a shir of Rav Ginzburg that I'm taking. Where is your inspiration? Where does it come from? So the nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya yechida. The first level is the level of this world, of the rules of this world. This world has rules. Like we said, it's eating and drinking and sleeping. They have to sleep. If we could do without sleep, I would be much happier. But you have to sleep. And you need money and you need parnasa. So there's rules in the world. There's also rules in arts. You can't do this and you can't do that. If you want it to look nice, there's some rules. You go according to the rules, then it's supposed to be nicer. But if you go only by rules, it can be empty. There's no inspiration. So the first part, nefesh, is the rules of this specific art. We're talking about song. There's rules. Every generation has the rules how to write the right song. Then you get inspired. The next inspiration is fighting your own war. Everybody has their own parcel of what they have in life, what they have to go through. And actually, if life would be boring with nothing exciting happening, even if this excitement is hardships, from all the hardships, that's what the inspiration comes from. You have inspiration from being squished, like they say, the Rabbi had a sicha of, you have to grind the olives. You have to press them very hard in order for the oil to come out. So from that hardship, that's where we have an inspiration. That's the second level of ruach. Then we have the level of neshama. Neshama is when you see something of godly in the world, you're like, wow, Hashem, that was so kind of you, It happened just like unbelievable. What Hashgacha Pratit, the person I met, or what happened, or how they... So everybody sees Hashgacha Pratit all the time, especially if you want to see it, you see more. The more you want to see, the more you see. So then you get inspiration, you want to sing, you were so happy about it, you want to sing it. So that's the third level, that's the neshama, oh, what a soul this person is, what a soul, wow, how wonderful that it happened. And you feel godliness in the world, you write a song. Then we have 2 more parts. The 2 more parts are the parts of the soul that are not really connected with our everyday life. We don't feel them all the time, but they're surrounding us. They have an influence on us. There's makif karov and there's makif rachok. There's a close, how would you call it? Makif. It's something surrounds us. It's something we get inspired from because it's out there in the air. So what's closer to us is because we're Yidden. That's our Jewish life. That's our Jewish heritage. The holidays and everything. All our life is full of all this richness of Torah and mitzvot and stories and everything. It's in us. So when we're inspired, we take from that. We draw from that. So that's the chaya. And then higher than that is the yechida. The yechida is something cosmic. It's something that is all world encompassing, which is not dafka Jewish. It can be from the Goyish world. It's something of some creativity of the world that we all were exposed to it since childhood. It can be music of the Goyim, it can be classical music, it can be all kinds of things that we inspired from. We're not even aware of it, but it's in our system. For example, I play Hasidic music with a classical arrangement because that's where I came from. I grew up with classical music. But I can't stand to play classical music. It's empty. The chitzoniut is there. It has a vessel, but it doesn't have the neshama. It doesn't have the inside. But I'm using that vessel for what I'm pouring into it with the Hasidic music. So for sure, when I write something, I have inside of me so many things. They say about the Mittler Rebbe that if they would cut his finger, instead of blood, it would flow Hasidus. So musicians, the ones that are dealing with nigun, somebody who really has nigunim, you press the button, what comes out? A nigun. It has the feet from this nigun, the body from that nigun. It reminds them of this nigun, of that nigun. Everything just flows, and then when you pour out, a nigun comes out. That's musicians. So if we bizoche, doesn't mean that we can always write a nigun, but sometimes we have nigunim coming. So everybody should have nigunim coming. The whole world needs a nigun to come. The whole world has to come back to its own pure nigun of the old days. Because the world is squeaking. It needs Mashiach. So when all 5 levels of nigun are going to be revealed, of Neshama of Mashiach is going to come. That's why the Rebbe said, ברוב שירה וזמרה. תבוא הגאולה, we can bring גאולה with ברוב שירה וזמרה, with a lot of singing and playing. So, let's do והיא שעמדה. That's the next one in the... Which, והיא שעמדה? Okay, there's the regular והיא שעמדה and there's the one that Rebbe taught. Let's do the regular one. I just went in through another song. I just thought it reminds me of another one. והיא שעמדה, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו. והיא שעמדה, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו. שלא אחד מלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו. שלא אחד מלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו. אלא שבכל דמותו עומדים עלינו לכלותנו. אלא שבכל דמותו עומדים עלינו לכלותנו. והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו מידם. והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו מידם. והיא שעמדה, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו. והיא שעמדה, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו. שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו. שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו. אלא שבכל דורדו עומדים עלינו לכלותנו. אלא שבכל דורדו עומדים עלינו לכלותנו. והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו מידם. והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו מידם. I'm doing Pesach songs today because next week I hope we do have a meeting and I want to dedicate next week to the Nigunim of the Rebbe. So now I'm doing a lot of Nigunim for Pesach. One of the interesting Nigunim for Pesach in the Haggadah, oh wait a minute, we said we're doing Shehi Shanda of the Rebbe first. Okay, concentrate. The Rebbe taught this Nigun also. And amazingly, I found it in one of the books of Nigunim, of ancient Nigunim, as written as a Kali Nigun also, or who knows what Nigun. So the Rebbe taught ancient Nigunim. The Dav Dafka started with Chabad. It's going to be too low for me this time. I know. והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו. שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו. אלא שבכל דור ודור עומדים עלינו לכלותנו. שבכל מצילנו מידיו, והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו מידיו. Isha Anda from the Rabbi. Now I wanted to tell you, play for you a nigun that is very, very ancient, singing the beginning of the Haggadah, and it's from Babylon. It's a very ancient nigun, maybe time of the Mishnah, Gemara, we don't know from when. Kadesh urechaz karpatz yachaz magid rachatza motzi matza maror korech shulechan orech tzafun barech halel niyatza kadesh urechaz karpatz yachaz magid rachatza motzi matza maror korech shulechan orech tzafun barech halel niyatza. Ancient nigun. Whoever finds a source for that will be wonderful. We'll look. Now, more songs. They have another thing written there. We did all of them, right? All the ones I promised. In the end of the Seder, there's a lot of piyutim that the people sing. We did all of them, right? Yeah, we did. We did all of them. All the words I said you. But in the end of the Seder, when they pour back the wine into the bottle, that's the minhag of Chabad, they sing Keli Ata, the nigun from the Alter Rebbe. I had a few clear days with my throat of becoming hoarse again, and I already mentioned many times, I'm not a singer. I don't pretend to be one of the singers, but I'm singing so you can hear the song and you can join me in your own homes, and we can enjoy the song together. We have some time left. We can either do some more nigunim of Pesach, or we can do some more nigunim of Simcha. What do you say? Gam gam. We said that we have to break the weirs of galus and open up the channels and clear up and make the flow going towards Geulah. There's some very nice Pesach songs. singing the songs of the end of the Seder is a help to get through the whole preparation for the Seder without falling into this little katnut mochin, narrow-mindedness of all the little perurim and what's going to be, and get choking again and get Pharaoh choke us up completely. So thinking of that you already got to the end of the Seder and you got there safely, and Hashem will find you a way, everybody will find a way to get to the end of the Seder safely. So I can't read now, I have to read it. If you have to say anything, say it out loud because I can't read. It's too far for me. So, Rav Ginzburg taught a nigun by Karlin that is supposed to help us clean, because first of all it's very long, and because it's so long you have enough time to scrub and clean and do whatever needs to be done, and scrape and scrub and clean all those things that Rabbi just said. The women cleaning for Pesach can get to the same level as blowing the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. It's the same acronym of the letters for blowing the shofar. I'll look it up, I'll send it in the Kutza, remind me in our group. But this nigun from Karlin, which is not exactly the way Karlin sang it, but that's the way that Ginzburg sings it. It's beautiful. So we're taking this song that doesn't really have anything to do with the Seder. Why did they bring it up to the Seder of Echad Ni Yodea? Echad Ani Yodea, one is Hashem, two is the tablets, and three is our three forefathers, and four is the mothers, and 5 is Chumshei Torah, and 6 is the Mishnah, and 7 is the stars in the heaven. It's a kid's song about, riddles of. So why is it connected with Pesach? So first thing, it's connected us with Purim. In Purim we asked, Mi yodea le'et kazot higat lemalchut. Mi yodea is, we don't know, only Hashem knows. We are small. We want to get all these gaiva off of us. We don't have this gaiva. We want to be able to nullify ourselves, be a matzah, not a chametz. And so mi yodea is high levels of understanding. So in Purim we have one mi yodea. In Pesach we sing 13 of them. Such a level of mi yodea, it's amazing. And so that's one thing. The other thing is, if you remember that Hashem is one, it's only Hashem, there's nothing else except for Hashem, we're going to clean so easily and so nicely and have this long song we can sing. I'm not going to sing all the parts. We're going to get to 3 or 4 to see how much patience you have. אחד אלוקינו שבשמיים שניים אני יודע שני לוחות הברית, אחד אלוקינו שבשמיים שלושה אני יודע, שלושה אני יודע. שלושה אבות, שני לוחות הברית, אחד אלוקינו שבשמיים ובארץ. ארבע מי יודע, לוחות הברית, אחד אלוקינו שבשמיים ובארץ. We'll stop at 4 and you go on by yourself. Anybody who didn't get it in the group can either join the group and we'll send it again or ask for it in privately. You can get the song again. I thought of another song that I want to do with you tonight. And it ran away. What was it? Any comments, any questions? Maybe the song will come back. I'll get it. Yeah, I know what I wanted to do. We should do a song. Yeah, we did that, you know. We did that, you know. I want to do Farasta. I want to do songs about receiving Pnei Mashiach because we have to break the barriers of the Galut and get to the Geula and get the world ready for Mashiach. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. Am Yisrael, have no fear, Mashiach will be here this year. Am Yisrael, have no fear, Mashiach will be here this year. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We want now. We don't want to wait. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. Right away, without delay, Mashiach will be here today. Right away, without delay, Mashiach will be here today. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. לשנה הבאה בירושלים, לשנה הבאה בירושלים, לשנה הבאה בירושלים, לשנה הבאה לירושלים הבנויה, לשנה הבאה בירושלים, לשנה הבאה בירושלים, לשנה הבאה בירושלים, לשנה הבאה ירושלים הבנויה, לשנה הבאה בירושלים, בירושלים הבנויה, לשנה הבאה בירושלים, בירושלים הבנויה, לשנה הבאה בירושלים, לשנה הבאה בירושלים הבנויה, לשנה הבאה בירושלים, לשנה הבאה בירושלים הבנויה, לשנה הבאה בירושלים, 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 בירושלים הבנויה. ופרצה, 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 ופרצה ימה בקדמה, צפונה בנגבה. ופרצה, 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 ופרצה ימה בקדמה, צפונה בנגבה. ופרצה ימה בקדמה, ופרצה צפונה בנגבה. ופרצה ימה בקדמה, ופרצה צפונה בנגבה. ופרצה, 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 ופרצה ימה צפונה בנגבה, ימה בקדמה, צפונה בנגבה, ימה בקדמה, צפונה בנגבה, ימה בקדמה, צפונה בנגבה. מישה נכנס אדם, מישה נכנס אדם, מישה נכנס אדם, מרבים בשמחה, מישה נכנס אדם, מרבים בשמחה. מישה נכנס אדם, Okay, that's it for today.